following is a presentation of the Trojan Sports Network.
Don't you come back no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say?
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965.
We're joined by head coach Aaron Luke before they take on St. Francis tonight. 0-4 here in league play, up and down performances the last
Ivanhoe's is
2
less
weeks.
than a mile from the Taylor campus.
What's been your observation for these last 2 weeks for the team?
The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Visitors from St. Francis, number 5, Paige Gorky. Number 11, Ellie Harris. Number 12, Caitlin McMullen. Number 14, Joe Nelson. Number 16, Kelby Golshamilton. Number 18, Madison Schaefer. And the number 2, Alexis Gregory. The Cougars are coached by Scott Haddix, assisted by Neil Hood, Seth Brass, and Mark Campbell. And now playing on your feet for the starting lineup for your Trojans. Freshman middle hitter from New Palestine, Indiana, number 3, Megan Lyman. Junior middle hitter from Yorktown, Indiana, number 8, Jalen Dunsmore. Junior outside hitter from Muncie, Indiana, number 9, Gracie Conway. Freshman defensive specialist from New Bremen, Ohio, number 14, Abby Powers. Sophomore server from Bluffton, Indiana, number 15, Lindsay Springer. Junior middle hitter from Homestead, Florida, number 17, Grace Aramia. Senior libero sophomore from New Palestine, Indiana, number 1, Michaela Playboy. And your Trojans are coached by Aaron Lukey, assisted by Gabby Reed and Joe Ross.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome inside Odell Arena on the campus of Taylor University for tonight's Big Crossroads League matchup between two teams trying to find their footing. Taylor comes in 0-4, the defending regular season and tournament champs. St. Francis comes in 1-3. They are a match ahead of the Trojans in the league standings. Taylor trying to snap a 3-match losing streak before they go on the road for the better part, here the final part of the month of September. Taylor on the left side of the net to start things here tonight. 3 number changes to bring to you for St. Francis. The libero Alexis Gregory wearing 2 tonight. That means she and Hannah Sweeney switch numbers, so Sweeney wearing 10. And Brianna Cook will be wearing number 6 tonight, and Sinead Jennings is wearing number 9. No number changes for the Trojans. They had 2 5-setters out of those 3 losses last week. They try to get on the winning side of things here tonight again before starting a long road stretch coming up starting on Friday night. Taylor in the home white uniforms with the purple numbers and the purple letters. St. Francis in the road blue with the white numbers and the white letters. So we are ready to go here from Odell Arena. St. Francis comes in 5-9 overall. The Trojans are 9-7. And we're glad you're along for the ride tonight. Here from Upland, Indiana, Taylor setter Lindsay Springer has the first serve, and we're off and running in set number 1. Received cleanly by USF. Joel Delsing far side, blocked down immediately. This time it's Gracie Conway tag teaming up with Reagan Kleiman. And a much better start here for the Trojans than what they've seen here in the last couple of matches. Now we get 1 serve in, and now we have to have a conversation with the scores table. We might be here a little while if we keep having these stoppages. That's okay. All of our folks work by the hour, so that means more cash for them. Out of system ball is Goldschmeding backpedal, and having a 2-arm it over is Paige Fortcamp, the top outside hitter for USF. New right side is Jalen Dunsmore, and she's blocked by Fortcamp and McMullen. So the two teams trade blocks on the first 2 serves of the night, and we are tied at 1 apiece. In to serve Hannah Sweeney for USF. Sweeney, the 5'10 sophomore, stayed home to play her college volleyball in Fort Wayne. Nice student crowd on hand tonight. And again, we have a stoppage and a check with me over at the scores table. Not with me, but you know, me adjacent. We'll get all that squared away. Maybe. 1 up here in set 1. Third serve as Powers skies it. Conway near side to the middle, and Dunsmore off the heel of her hand. A leaning dig is the property of the setter Delsing. Near side Fortcamp right down the line, dug by L. Springer. Cross court swing, Powers sets it up, and it's knocked over by Conway. Back row dig is Sweeney's. Near side Fortcamp going cross court to the far side where it's dug by Flagel. Back to that far side of the floor and a Conway swing. Dug back up near the net, and it's tapped down for a Conway kill. No. Make it a violation as Conway, when she had tapped the ball down, she hit the top of the netting. And so the point actually goes to USF, and they lead 2-1 on the misstep by Conway. Back-to-back points off the kill and the miscue by the Trojans. For USF, Kleiman calls for, they bluff to her. Dunsmore tees off the block attempt of Jones. First kill for Dunsmore, and we're tied at 2 in set 1.
And now in for the Trojans is number 19, Jen Springer, and number 4, Sarah Scott.
Jen Springer and Sarah Scott enter for the Trojans. Jen goes back to serve. The lefty in her second year at TU. Going to the back row, dug forward by Sweeney. In the middle, Fortcamp sweeps it over. Jen Springer comes in and saves it, or make that Flagel after the receive from L. Springer. Back to the near side, Fortcamp for USF, off the block and dug by Flagel. L. Springer, far side to Scott, who teed off on it, but she hit the net as she went up into the air. Second time that's happened to a Trojan tonight. And USF goes back in front by 1, 3-2. Three to 2, the lead for the visitors from USF as the libero Gregory sends it over. Out of system ball that Dunsmore sends to the back row. Gregory forward, underneath is Delsing. Right side swing and over is Schaefer's. Elspringer sets up Scott, who hits it right into the heart of the net. Back-to-back missteps here for the Trojans, and they trail by a deuce, 4-2. Not the start that Taylor wanted here tonight. Our pre-match conversation with Erin Luthi, she mentioned her team has either come out really hot and then kind of fizzled as Gregory serves that one into the net for our first service error of the evening for either team. Or her team comes out a hair slow and then kicks it into gear for the final few sets. It was the opposite of what we saw here last Wednesday. Taylor came out guns a-blazing in that opening frame against Spring Arbor where they hit over 400. Then it was all Cougars after that as the visitors from Michigan won in 4. Near side play, this is Caroline Jones in the back row. A pirouetting and falling down dig is Jen Springers of Taylor. Dunsmore to the cross court far back corner where Sweeney digs. Swept over by USF and it's dug by Elspringer. Left side, Scott terminates it over the net emphatically after back-to-back miscues by the redshirt sophomore. Sarah Scott missed all of last year with a left knee injury that she suffered in the first practice of the year and one of the first drills of the year. And she's been a welcome addition back for the purple and gold. Tied at 4 off the serve from Suzanne Story. Far side play, Fortcamp poking it right over the block, and she finds that open back corner wonderfully with a right-hand fist punch. Michaela Flagel comes in for TU. As USF leads 5-4 with Fortcamp, the 6th rotation player, back to serve for USF. Here's that big top spin serve, and it goes right into the net. Second service error of the evening for USF, and we're tied at 5 as Chloe Holtz comes in for the Trojans. Just over the top of the tape and played out off the save attempt by Alexis Gregory. Ace for Holtz. And the Trojans go back in front 6-5 here in set number 1. Played up by Gregory. Coming off the net is Fortcamp to set it up for USF. Elspringer back to Scott off the top of the block and just out of the reach of Jen Springer. Second block of the night for St. Francis, and we are knotted at 6 here in set number 1. Kelly Goldschmeding enters to serve for USF. Also coming back in for the Cougars is Addison Schaefer. Exiting, Sweeney and Jones. St. Francis on the right side of the net, and they commit their 3rd service error of the night. Breaks the 6-all tie in favor of TU. And here's Abby Powers, freshman out of New Bremen, Ohio. A high-level player out of the Buckeye State. 14 in white, sends it to the back row, and Gregory sprints and saves it for St. Francis, and Schaefer 2-arms it over deep. Holtz to Elspringer for Taylor, in the middle to Aramia, but it's off the top of the netting, but give the block to St. Francis, and that's their 3rd one of the opening stanza. It was clear sailing for Aramia right down the middle, but she just hit down on it a little bit too much. Seven aside here in set 1 with Kellen Birch back to serve. Freshman out of Bluffton, Indiana. Received by Powers, near sideline Elspringer, waiting for it's Aramia, and she tees off on the block. First kill for Aramia, she exits. Freshman Reagan Kleiman in for TU. Aramia, a quiet match on Saturday at Mount Vernon Nazarene. The libero Flagel, a member of the Crossroads League all-freshman team a year ago, sends it over for the Trojans. as they lead by 1. Coming back to get it, and then hitting into the block was McMullen, and Kleiman was all by herself for the solo rejection. Second block for Kleiman, and the Trojans have their biggest lead of the night at a deuce, 9-7, here in set number 1. A matchup of two 8th-year head coaches, Aaron Luthi for the Trojans and Scott Haddix for USF. Haddix, a graduate of Taylor University, Fort Wayne, and Flegel gets the home court bounce as the serve got caught on the top of the netting, rolled over to the USF side, and Taylor has their second ace of the evening, and their lead is now 3. Neither team with a player with more than 1 kill tonight. Fort Camp has the only termination for USF. She sets it up on the near side, and the 6th rotation player sets up Schaefer, who drops it home. Not very often you see the team's leader in kills also setting. That's what Fort Camp's doing this year in her junior year out of Fort Recovery, Ohio. Leads the Cougars with almost 400 terminations on the year and has now stepped into the setting role after a couple of injuries earlier in the year for the Cougars. Delsing, one of the other setters in to serve. Missed receive from Flegel, saving it's Lindsey Springer, and Kleiman torpedoes it through the block. So 2 blocks and a kill here for Reagan Kleiman in set number 1, and the Trojan lead goes back to 3 at 11-8. Students continuing to file in here to Odell Arena. And it's the new setter, Lindsey Springer, to send it over for TU. She'll send it deep. And the first service error for the Trojans is in the books. Addison Schaefer exits for St. Francis along with Schmelding. Hannah Sweeney in to serve. And also with McMullen up front. 2-point Taylor lead, almost an ace. Near sideline, Conway, her swing blocked. Off the elbow of Dunsmore, saved by Powers. And Springer and Flegel two-arm it over. That's L. Springer and Flegel. In the middle, off the top of the tape, diving pancake dig forward is Flegel's, but they'll say the ball hit the floor right as Flegel tried to dive in. Kate McMullen with the kill for USF, and the Cougars, after trailing by 3 twice, now trail by 1. Schaefer and Fort Camp with the only 2 kills of the night here for USF. Actually make it 3 now with the McMullen termination that was just recorded. Flegel receives the serve for Taylor. L. Springer coming back to get it. It was over the head of Kleiman, and a miss set for the Trojans, and 4 hits is the call that leads to that. We are tied at 11 here in set number 1. Sweeney to serve for USF deep, right to Flegel again. L. Springer, quick set, Dunsmore powers it through the tip on the front row. Dunsmore's second kill makes it 12-11 Trojans. Conway and Powers out, Springer and Scott back in for TU. And one of the rare differences for the Trojans this year, not just the youth from an experience standpoint, Taylor also without a 6th rotation player for the first time in a number of years. Set up near side for USF, Fort Camp off the block. Kleiman got it off of L. Springer's hands and too far out of the reach for Jen Springer. Second kill for Paige Fort Camp, and we're tied at 12 here in set number 1. Libero Gregory to serve. Back to her counterpart, Flegel. L. Springer, back set, near side. Dunsmore ricochets it off of Gregory. A big heater from Jalen Dunsmore, who has come to play here tonight with her 3rd termination. Suzanne Story and Grace Aramia enter for the Trojans, with Kleiman getting a breather. 12-12 here in set number 1. The Trojans try to snap a 3-match losing streak and pick up their first Crossroads League win of the year. Right side, Fort Camp comes to the near side, passed over, and Scott smacks it off the block. It lands out of play, and Scott gets kill number 2. 14-12 the Taylor lead. They have only trailed minimally here in the opening frame. Story in to serve. Again, up the near side and played forward by Sweeney. Near sideline, blocked over, and did it serpentine out, or was it touched? Taylor begging for a touch, and it's spun out of bounds off the Taylor block. And the kill goes to Caroline Jones, her first, and USF again to within one, down 14-13. Taylor was pleading for a touch there on the front row, did not happen. There are a couple of subs that were a little bit too quick, as Kayla Gumbel in for USF, replacing Delsing, and Flegel back on for the Trojans, and Story exits. Camp rockets it over. Jen Springer goes down to dig it. L. Springer, they bluff to Aramia, and Scott came soaring in and did the rest. Third kill for Scott, and a big one for the redshirt sophomore. Holtz on to serve, who's got an ace already tonight on her dance card. Sends Sweeney backpedaling and plays it up near the net. Fort Camp near side. Gumbel had a nice swing that was dug by a spinning Holtz. Left sideline, Scott off the top of the tape. Fort Camp digs it. Gregory underneath for USF to Gumbel again. Left side dig on the far sidelines. Flegels back to that far side, and it's back-to-back kills for Sarah Scott. Fourth termination for number 4. She's got 4 kills on the evening. And back-to-back big swings for Scott. Taylor ties their biggest lead of set 1 at 3. Deep serve from Holtz, received by Gregory. Gumbel sizes it up. Dig goes back over the net to the USF side. Gregory underneath, near sideline Gumbel, cross-court swing. Springer and Flegel collide just out of the reach of a sprinting Holtz. That one might have been going out of bounds, but it went off the hands of a lunging Jen Springer. Then she collided with Flegel, who was going for the same piece of property. Madison Schaefer on for USF. And the serve goes into the net by Caroline Jones. Fourth service error for USF, and just when the Cougars are starting to get a little bit of momentum, they're back down by 3 again. Conway and Powers back in for TU. Same thing for Goldschmeding for USF. Taylor on the left side of the net here in set 1, leading 17-14. Right side, back set, right in the back near corner. Wonderfully done by Kayla Gumbel. Ellie Ferris exits for St. Francis. Kellen Birch in to replace her. Gumbel and Fort Camp leading the way for USF with 2 kills. Scott leads the match with 4 for Taylor. L. Springer in the middle. Aramia rears back, and she put it on the line. She did. Second termination for Aramia, and the Trojan lead back to 3. As Aramia hung and was graceful, and then there was fury and violence coming off of her right hand. Flegel back to serve for Taylor as they lead 18-15. Neither team has taken a stoppage just yet. Kleiman goes in and tried to dunk it. It pinballs around, and then hitting into the net are the Cougars of USF. And there's your first timeout of set 1, almost on cue, taken by head coach Scott Haddix of the Cougars. Taylor leads 19-15 with the serve here in set 1 on the Trojan Sports Network.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
When you need the fuel to be your nephew's #1 fan, Holiday Inn Express. We're there, so you can be too.
The Trojans trying to find all the blank space on the floor on the right side with all their swings, but out of the timeout, USF cashes in on a Michaela Flegel service error. And that cuts the USF deficit to 3 at 19-16. Still no one with more than 2 kills for USF. Gumbel and Fort Camp leading the way. L. Springer up high, climbing. Big block up front for USF. And getting her hands in there was McMullen, along with one of her teammates for the 4th USF block here in set number 1. And just like that, the Cougars are back to within a deuce, down 19-17. 2 blocks for McMullen. Leading the way for the USF cause, a sidewinder that Flegel almost overpasses. L. Springer saves, Conway swings. Behind her, Flegel saves. Over on 2 is L. Springer, but Gregory digs it for USF. Fort Camp sweeping to the back row, played forward by Holtz. Reaching her arms out there was L. Springer, then Holtz tried a behind the line swing that sailed long over the back line. Not what head coach Aaron Luthi wanted to see, and she will take her first time out of set number 1 as her team's 4-point lead has been quickly dwindled down to 1. The race to 22. We'll see who's feeling 22 when we come back after this commercial break with Taylor leading by 1 on the Trojan Sports Network.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland.
Even though the Trojans have a 1-point lead, 19-18, they're hitting just 0-36 here in the opening set. St. Francis 7 kills, 3 errors. They're hitting an even 200. The Trojans breakdown is 10 kills, 9 errors. But all the momentum zapped away thanks to St. Francis's 5th service error of the opening frame. This one from Joe Delsing. Taylor ahead by a deuce, 20-18. Looking to play clean the rest of the way and pick up a set 1 win. Underneath is Delsing. Back set, blocked back over by the Trojans. Played alive and kept alive by McMullen. 2-armed over by Fort Camp. Taylor in system. L. Springer bluffs near side. Oh, and a big block as Dunsmore's ready to tee off, but she's turned away by McMullen and Fort Camp. 3rd block for McMullen, the 2nd one for Fort Camp, and the 5th one of the opening frame here for the visitors. And back to within 1 come USF. They're a match ahead of the Trojans, who are tied for 9th in the Crossroads League standings, somewhere Taylor was nowhere near a year ago as they romped to their best season in over a decade. L. Springer back set near sideline Conway. The block attempt goes out by USF. But it's another problem the Trojans have run into the last 2 weeks. Particularly remember last week here against Spring Arbor, where Taylor just hit it into the SAU block almost every time they went up for a swing. That was another problem, was the Trojans committed 20 attack errors in the loss and a sweep to Mount Vernon Nazarene on the road Saturday. Punched over by Jen Springer, back set in the middle, big swing down the middle comes Kate McMullen, and she gets kill number 2, and USF not going away quietly. They trail by 1, 21-20. This is the first of what will be 3 Taylor-St. Francis Indiana matchups this week, with both soccer teams, men's and women's, squaring off on Saturday. The Taylor football team will also be playing St. Francis, but those are the folks from Illinois. Left side swing, Scott. Was it blocked over by USF? It was, so we play on to the right side for the Cougars. Fort Camp skips forward right down the line and blows it through the hands of L. Springer. And Fort Camp, one of the top outside hitters in the Crossroads League, showing why, tying set one at 21. $11 kills and 10 first set errors for TU. Springer, far sideline to Scott, trying to get going as she tools off the block. 5th kill for Sarah Scott, leads the match, and the Trojans are the first one to feel 22 here in set one tonight. Suzanne Story, Grace Aramia on for the home team. And a wonderful and vibrant and energetic student crowd here in the stands tonight, as always. Story goes deep off of 1 foot. Sweeney plays it 4. Near sideline swing is dug in the back row by Story off the try from Jones. Back far side, having to wait for it and not connecting on the swing was Scott for her 3rd attack error of the night, the 10th one against the Trojans. And we're tied at 22. Flagel back in for TU with Fort Camp. The top pin hitter for USF back to serve. She's done everything tonight. She's hit, she's served, she's setted, she's dug, and she's also probably got a block in there too. Dunsmore finds the open space and the blank space in the back row against USF. 4th kill for Dunsmore. The Trojans lead 23-22. Holt sends it over. Gregory receives, back set, right side, nice swing. Springer able to save it for the Trojans. Left side, Scott. A grimace as she plays it forward on an awkward pass. Near side swing into the net. It's sent by Kayla Gumbel as Fort Camp has returned back to her setting duties for USF. We are here at set point, but right when the place was ready to get rocking and rolling, Scott Haddix, the USF head coach, puts a pause on the party with a 2nd timeout of set one. We're back with the end of set one next on the Trojan Sports Network.
If you get sick, you can trust that we will take care of you. As a Magnet-designated healthcare system, our expert team will create a personalized plan to get you back on your feet. Marion Health, great care from great people.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, Rob Sisson, and Adam Sieglin, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Taylor trying to play fearless here, trying to get one last point to get set one. Chloe Holtz with the set on her right hand as Oda Lorena has risen to their feet for those wearing the purple and gray. Gumbel gives the point, and it's bye-bye baby to set number one as the Trojans take it 25-22. We're off to set two next as the Trojans look to snap a 3-match losing streak here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Life to the full for me looks like approaching every conversation as if it is for the kingdom and to the glory of God.
Life to the full to me means being present where your 2 feet are at.
When I think of life to the full, I think of joy, especially the Taylor body, the Taylor community, what Taylor has to offer.
The way we're equipping students to live life to the full is that we're helping them have a global humility.
There are so many things at Taylor that are preparing me to live life to the full. I love doing research and engaging in projects within my major, computer science, so I could go from programming 1 minute to doing a Bollywood dance and performing as part of Mosaic Night the next.
We have a lot of opportunity here to help students and to equip them to live life full now and well beyond their years at Taylor, and part of that is the intentionality we have with developing relationships with one another.
I'm experiencing life to the full at Taylor through the different opportunities that Taylor allows us to learn about different cultures, people, and places.
I love that we get to do chapel together 3 times a week. Nobody takes attendance. Nobody tells me I have to be there, but I get to be there.
I think I see that in sports, on the football field, in the throwing ring, in classes, and also in student leadership positions.
I experience life to the full at chapel because I get to play in a chapel band, and I get to sit up there and play piano and glorify God with one of my gifts.
The community gives me a sense of life to the full in that I get to see students go through their 4 years here, develop as intellectuals and scholars, be prepared for their vocations, and go out into the world and influence the world for Christ.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland.
Very rarely do you see a team that wins a set have a worse hitting percentage than the team that lost it, but that's what played out in the opening frame as the Trojans hit .057. They had 13 kills and 11 attack errors. USF hit .148, 9 kills, 5 missteps. On 27 attempts, the Trojans had 35 attacks. Taylor outblocked in set 1, 4-2. As the boys from Sammy 2, clad in their costumes, getting ready to cheer loud and proud in the second frame. As there's one of those wacky inflatable tube men that's walking and waving his arms. You'll see him very carefully. He's right there on the bottom right side of your screen enjoying life. We hope you're enjoying life as well as Conway rainbows it over. She'll enjoy that with a rainbow right-hand swing, and the Trojans start set 2 out 1-0. Scott electric in the opening frame, 5 kills but had 4 errors. Conway now gets her 3rd kill, and Dunsmore's got 3 kills as well. The block for Dunsmore 2. Again, the Trojans had just 2 blocks in set 1. Jen Springer in and smacks it over hard. Playing it near is Delsing, big swing, but it's snuffed out by the diving Michaela Flagel. Sprinting and flailing it back is Sarah Scott as Delsing goes left side to Fortcamp. Did it hit the antenna? It did on a rocketed swing from Paige Fortcamp. And Taylor starts out of the blocks quick, leading 2-0 here in the second. First attack error for Fortcamp. She still leads the way for USF with 3 terminations. Underneath Delsing, back to Fortcamp again, rockets it over the block and off the hands of Jen Springer. Fortcamp rocking and rolling here tonight. Again, has done everything for USF, has played every position in her 6 rotations, but has also set it as well, which is something rare you see, as we mentioned in set 1, for someone that has close to 400 kills when the night began. Hannah Sweeney sends it over for USF as they committed 5 service errors in set 1. Kleiman powers it through the block into the net. Doesn't matter as the Trojans get the kill as that net was jumping all over the place. Second kill for the freshman Reagan Kleiman, who can jump out of the gym. And that 6'1" frame doesn't hurt as well. 3-1 Trojans here in set number 2. They lead 1-0. Coming in from the left side, Jones with the overpass, tap down, Dunsmore and Aramia. And the Trojans take a 3-point advantage at 4-1, getting their 3rd block of the night. Here's Suzanne Story, the granddaughter of Taylor Athletics Hall of Famer Rick Atkinson. And Coach Atkinson's granddaughter gets the ace. 3rd ace of the night for the Trojans, first one for Story. I'm sure Grandpa looking down right now with an ear-to-ear grin. Grandma sitting in her normal seat across from us. Suzanne gives the point back on a serve into the net. And Taylor ahead 5-2 here in set 1. If you go back and watch Coach Atkinson's Hall of Fame speech, he gives Suzanne a shout-out along with his rest of his grandkids, trying to get all of them to get on scholarship to come here and play sports at Taylor. That Coach Atkinson was a smart guy in more ways than one. Ducking out of the way, Flegel also smart as a serve sent long by the libero Alexis Gregory of USF. Their 6th service error tonight, and the Trojans extend their lead to a match-high 4 at 6-2. Holtz smashes it, trying to find this near back corner. Quick set in the middle, rainbowed over as Flegel slaps it over on the try from Ferris. Near side Scott, and the dig attempt goes over, then almost landed down for USF points. Scott backpedaling, and almost another overpass. Delsing able to avoid the net. Nice little tip over the block that got up early by Paige Fortcamp. USF cuts that deficit to 3, trailing 6-3. As Kayla Gumbel back in for the visitors with Fortcamp rotating back to the back row and to serve. USF in the road blue. They're on the left side of the net here in set 2. The Trojans on the right side in the home white. Scott off of Fortcamp, almost to the back wall. Kill number 6 for Sarah Scott. That leads the match night. She'll exit along with Jen Springer, with Powers and Conway coming on. Taylor's lead back up to 4 at 7-3. Powers serves off the top of the tape, saved by Fortcamp, who is right near the net in her setting position. Gumbel off the block, kept alive by the right hand of a punch of Jen Springer, and Holtz 2-arms it over on 2, and Holtz gets the kill. Wise play there from Chloe Holtz, caught USF all out of sorts. Trojans lead by 5, 8-3. And Powers into the net for a service error. Her first, team's second, or team's 4th, excuse me. Taylor's got their hitting percentage over 100 for a match, now at 167, a much better set 2 than where we saw the Trojans get double-figure errors in the opening frame. Conway turns it loose, but there's Fortcamp again with the dig. Back to the net, Gumbel 2-arms it over. Flegel, L. Springer, back near side, wide open space for Conway, but Fortcamp saves the point for USF. Back set on a slide, Aramia tees off, but lunging in is Gumbel. Dump shot over by the now setter, that is Fortcamp, near side Conway. Violation against Taylor on a double hit against Lindsay Springer. 2 different times to Conway and then Aramia. The Trojans had a golden opportunity to come home with a point, but it was snuffed out by the St. Francis defense. And the Cougars back to within 3. Down 8-5, and then Aramia pushed the lead quickly back to 4 with a thunderous swing right down Main Street. Timeout on the floor as Aramia exits. St. Francis and their head coach Scott Haddix want to talk it over. 9-5, the Taylor lead here in set number 2.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greeks Pizzeria, it's our taste.
Out of the timeout, Taylor with the serve on the right side of the net. They lead 9-5 here in set number 2 after taking set 1 in a tight 25-22 final. Flying in from the far side for USF and getting the kill is Addison Schaefer, 18 in blue. Her second kill, and USF needs to get her going. She's second on the team in kills behind Fort Camp. Birch to serve for USF as they trail by 3, 9-6 here in set 2. To the near side, Powers overpass, and then tomahawking it down is Schaefer once again. Back-to-back kills for her. Coming out of the USF timeout, exactly what head coach Scott Haddix wanted to see. Schaefer 6 kills, 3 errors in the sweep at Grace on Saturday, and now it's 3 in a row out of the stoppage as Birch gets the first ace of the night for St. Francis. They went into the timeout down 4, 3 straight out of the break. And they trail by 1, 9-8, trying to even our match at a set apiece. Birch long and out. Service error number 7 tonight for the Cougars. Lindsey Springer rotates back to serve. Up high, left side, here comes Schaefer again, who's had the hot hand. She's dug by Flagel of Taylor. Back set, right side, Dunsmore. It ricochets off of the scaffolding above our heads. And then a miscommunication between Gumbel and Gregory as they both stopped, and the ball fell right between both of them. A much-needed 2-0 run here by the Trojans. And their lead is back up to 3. Springer tonight, 17 assists and 5 digs for the former setter out of UNC Asheville. Gumbel over, dug by Flagel of Taylor. L. Springer back near side. Conway sweeps it over where Fort Camp meets it for a dig. Gregory up high, left side, Schaefer blocked. It's Dunsmore and Kleiman on the right side for Taylor. Third block, Kleiman. Second one, Dunsmore, number 3 for the home side, and their lead is 4. L. Springer, a sidewinder, right side, overpass, and Kleiman easily avoids the net as she was ready to tomahawk that one down to the center of the earth. And an ace, 4th one of the night for Taylor, first one for Lindsey Springer. And the Trojans have a match-high lead of 5, 13-8 here in set number 2, trying to go up 2-0 in the match tonight. Fort Camp, the setter, far side, Schaefer, blocked but out of bounds, right side. Give the kill to Schaefer, her 4th. 13-9, the deficit for St. Francis. As they're hitting 167 here in set number 2. The service line has been an issue for the Cougars tonight as Delsing ticks it off the top of the tape. They have 7 service errors. Dunsmore sends it into oblivion, then tapped over by Kleiman. USF scrambling around, far side Fort Camp, and a double contact to call against USF against their backup setter, Joe Delsing. Back to a 5-point Taylor lead. Powers and Conway out. Jay Springer and Sarah Scott back in. Scott with a match-high 6 kills, but also has the 4 errors tonight. As our second referee, Carl Koopman, over there having a chat with the scores table. Ron Hill, the man with his back to you on the platform. He's our first referee. The line judge tonight are Bill Hogue and Craig Molson. And is there a rotation misstep for USF as Carl Koopman comes over and talks with USF head coach Scott Haddix. Taylor mentor Aaron Luthi taking the time for a free timeout as she calls her six together as the officials, along with Coach Haddix, trying to figure out either the rotation or the placement for some of the USF players here before this service of Taylor being up 14-9. Taylor already got the point to take this 5-point advantage. And a timeout, or the free timeout over for USF. And while this is going on, Brianna Cook having a little dance party with her teammates over in the far left corner. And now it's Caroline Jones' turn to show off her moves. And the dance party broken up as we're ready to get back to volleyball. It looks like everything A-OK. Seems to be, it might have been Addison Schaefer's placement on the floor before this serve is what caught the eye of Koopman. Taylor head coach Aaron Luthi telling Jen Springer to stay loose, not get tight as we wait to siphon through all of this, and we're ready to get back to action. Taylor leading 14-9, a much better second set than what the Trojans had in set one. Going deep and played forward by Goldschmidt. Near the antenna, knocking it under the net was Fort Camp. Violation against USF. Taylor's lead is 6. And Eliza Madden makes her first appearance of the night. 5'8" junior out of Newcastle, Indiana. She replaces Joe Delsing. So first time we've seen the third string setter Madden. Lefty smash Springer. On the serve, aforementioned Madden. Near side play Schaefer. Off the top of the tape, down to the USF side. 4 hits, the call against the Cougars, and the Trojans starting to run away and hide here in set number 2. Jay Springer to serve once again. Just over the top of the tape, good receive from Gregory. Far side Fort Camp for USF, off the block. Dug forward by Flagel, up high, near side to Sarah Scott, who continues to show off tonight with her 7th kill. All Trojans in set 2, and Scott starting to cook. 7 kills for the redshirt sophomore, Sarah Scott. Leads the match in that category, and Jen Springer continues to serve it over hot. Gregory and almost an overpass. Madden back to Fort Camp left side. Cross court. Diving dig is Flagels. Scott with a pretty save. And now Jen Springer 2 arms it over. Diving dig. Gregory up to Scott, who finishes it off. That all started with the diving dig of Flagel, and Scott put the cherry on top of the sundae. All Trojans in set 2, forcing a USF timeout. Up 18-9, trying to go up 2-0 tonight here on the Trojan Sports Network. Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director's Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the athletic department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-4331 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes. Taylor hitting a blistering .471 here in set 2. 8 kills, no errors on 17 swings, and Jen Springer continues to have the serve on her hand. Schaefer rainbows it almost into the Taylor coaching staff across from us. 19-9, the Trojan lead here in the second. And now it's USF that's racking up the errors, 5 kills and 5 missteps. Madden, left side, Fort Camp from the left side of the net. Springer digs and sends it skyward. J. Springer, L. Springer, Dunsmore, cross court, and just a hair out on the near side. Taylor head coach Erin Luthi beside herself. It looked like from up here that it hit on the inner part of the line. Coach Luthi's eyes are better than mine. She doesn't need to wear contacts like I do. Our first referee, Ron Hill, was right on top of it, did not overrule the ruling of Carl Koopman, our second referee. And Coach Luthi, the defending Crossroads League Coach of the Year, sadly will have to sit with Dunsmore picking up her third attack error. Back to within 9 is USF trying to avoid going down 2-0 in the match tonight. A nice serve with heat, far side Dunsmore. There's no guessing if that one was in or out. 5th kill for Dunsmore, and the Trojan lead back up to 10. A dime lead for TU, as Story and Aramia return for the Trojans. Deep serve, Madden, up left side, Fort Camp over the block, but out. Not touched, nope. Second error for Fort Camp. Make it her third, to go with her team high 5 kills. But Taylor leading by a bunch, 21-11 here in set 2. Story, a hop, skip, and a serve. Madden, back set, near side, Schaefer, little 2-step, and blocked down Scott and Aramia. 4th block of the night for Taylor. First one, Scott, and first one for Aramia, who led the league in blocks a year ago. USF trying to get a side out in the worst way possible. The Trojans have just steamrolled their way through the second set. Back to Fort Camp, tipping over the block and out of the reach of a diving and sprawling Jen Springer. Good job by Fort Camp. Saw that block go up way early and just softly and lightly tapped it over. (22-11), the deficit for St. Francis. After hitting close to 200, they're hitting 148 in that opening frame. Their match totals now down to about 100. Scott blocked back over USF's Jones and Ferris. Tag team to turn her away. 5th block of the night for USF. It's their first one here of set 2 as they now trail by 10. Gregory, nice receive from Jen Springer. Far side Dunsmore tracks off the top of the tape and out of bounds. Point goes to St. Francis. 4th error by Dunsmore. And back to within 9 is USF. Gregory to serve again, the libero over to Jen Springer. L. Springer right side, Dunsmore blocked emphatically left side, Fort Camp along with Ferris. Fort Camp has at least one of every statistical category tonight except a service ace. 6 kills, 4 assists, 5 digs, and now 3 blocks. Taylor with both of their second set timeouts in their back pocket if they need them, as we have more questions about substitution patterns across from us. But after going up by 12, USF has now gone on a 4-0 jaunt to trail 22-14. As Fort Camp talks with first referee Ron Hill, then relays the message to her head coach Scott Haddix. Something funny was said because everybody's laughing, except us because we're too far away. But I'm sure it was hysterical because it looked hysterical. Netflix stand-up worthy, maybe. Maybe. Now, it's taking too much time, so I don't know if Netflix wants to deal with that. Should we start taking phone calls? It feels like a rain delay in a baseball game. We just need to open up the phone lines and start, talking to John from Gaston, Indiana. John, you're on line 1 on the Trojan Sports Network. Go. Hold that thought, John. Volleyball's back. Gregory to serve as USF trying to extend their 4-0 run as they trail by 8 as the Trojans ready to run away and hide with set 2. Elspringer near side, an outside swing for Aramia. Dug on the cross-court far side, Gregory. Back set, beating the block to the pin was Jones, but Flagel digs for Taylor. Near sideline, Scott off the block, out of the reach of Gregory. Kill number 9 for Sarah Scott, increasing her match-high total, and the Trojans 2 points away from a set 2 victory. USF in system, far side Jones, cross-court swing out of bounds, and the Trojans have got a 10-point lead, and they've got it to set point here in the second. 10 set-point serves for the Trojans, with Holtz to smash it over with her right hand. Madden, the new setter in, back to Fortcamp, nice tap, pancake dig is Flagels, and Jen Springer will left-hand that one into the net as she's trying to size it up. Back down by 9 is St. Francis, 24-15. The Trojans trying to take this stranglehold, 2-0 match lead. Here's Fortcamp, the do-everything player for St. Francis. To Holtz, Elspringer, a slide to Aramia, backcourt swing in the net was USF, and the Trojans get the set 2 win as Gumbel got into the netting. Taylor takes set 2, 25-15. They go for a sweep, trying to snap their 3-match losing skid next on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director's Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the athletic department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-4331 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
If you get sick, you can trust that we will take care of you. As a Magnet-designated healthcare system, our expert team will create a personalized plan to get you back on your feet. Marion Health. Great care from great people.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or it can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greeks Pizzeria, it's our taste.
Taylor going for the sweep here in set number 3. They're on the left side of the net in white. Purple numbers, purple letters. USF in the road blue. They're on the right side of the net here in set number 3. White numbers, white letters. Taylor at 2:31, a quiet close to the second frame after they were errorless with 8 kills. They then had 3 kills and 5 errors to finish out the frame. USF a negative number, 6 kills, 8 errors. Trojans led by Sarah Scott with a match-high 9 kills, also with the block. 5 kills on the night for Jalen Dunsmore, 3 for Conway, and 4 for Aramia. On the other side for USF, they've got 6 from their do-everything player Fort Camp, who also has 4 assists, 5 digs, and 3 blocks. The only thing that Fort Camp is missing to fill out the categories tonight is a service ace. 2 kills for McMullen to go with 3 blocks. 3 kills for their second leading offensive player, USF's Addison Schaefer. Taylor gets the first serve. Lindsey Springer has got it teed up, and we're off and running in set 3. Gregory up to the middle of the net. Big swing and turning away Conway and Kleinman on the attempt from McMullen. 4th block of the night for Reagan Kleinman. Conway gets her 2nd, and the Trojans get their 5th block of the night. Taylor trying to start out 2-0 for the 2nd straight stanza. In the middle, Delsing, after getting replaced in set number 2, back to Fort Camp. Smart idea, her 7th kill. Fort Camp coming in the 4th most kills per set in the Crossroads League. And we're tied at 1 here in the 3rd. Taylor hitting 131 for the match. USF at 0-1-9. Back to serve Schaefer, and that is the 8th service error of the night for St. Francis. Only 1 ace to counteract that tonight. Conway exits. Scott and Jen Springer back in. As Aramia gets a breather. And nobody came to pick up the ball, and so Jen Springer gets arguably the easiest ace in her collegiate career. It was like practice. There was just blank space in the back row, and she found it. Much like someone would try to find a friend with a friendship bracelet at a summer concert, potentially. You never know. Near side swing, back row dig by the aforementioned Jen Springer on the try from Kendall Frey. There's Scott trying to tee off the block. Flagel able to keep it alive. Then Lindsey Springer kept it up and knocked over by Dunsmore. Quick set in the middle. There's a nice dig on the attempt from McMullen by Flagel. The tooling off the block is Dunsmore, and the Trojans have a 4-1 lead. Kill number 6 for Dunsmore, and the Trojans lead 4-1 here in the 3rd. So the Springer sisters have taken the 2 first serves of this 3rd frame and have more often than not have resulted in positive results for Taylor, and another ace for Jen. This one off the top of the tape. 4-point Taylor lead as they go for the sweep here tonight. Jen, the 5'4" junior out of Pittsboro, Indiana. So play it deep. Cut off on the receive by Sweeney. Back set right side, tap down right inside, and Sarah Scott starting to shake it off along with Reagan Kleinman. 5th block for Kleinman, 2nd one for Scott, and Taylor has a 5-point lead as they are trying to put this thing out of reach early. Jen Springer deep, picking on Gregory the libero again. Near side, Fort Camp, roll shot over the block and just out of the reach of a diving Flagel and Jen Springer as Fort Camp has got all the tools in her toolbox. Gregory the libero to send it over, just 3 digs for her tonight. Kleiman came back to get a big swing, but waiting for her in the middle was the block of Frey and Ferris of USF. Sixth rejection for St. Francis tonight, and they're back to within 3. Down 6-3 here in the third, dropping the first 2 sets 25-22 and 25-15. L. Springer, sidestep, back set, far side, Scott. Pirouetting in the back row was a dig for Sweeney. Before the Fort Camp swing, whistle blows, double contact there by Delsing, the setter for St. Francis. Aramia returns for Taylor along with Story. With the Trojans back ahead by 4, 7-3. Taylor came into the night tied for 9th place in the Crossroads League with Goshen, both at 0-4. But they're a match behind the St. Francis club in Huntington for 7th, and just 2 matches back of the 2-way tie for 5th with Bethel and Spring Arbor. Big swing, Fort Camp, dug nicely on the far side by Jen Springer. Scooped over by Dunsmore, USF in system. Dulcing to the near side where Ferris is turned away. Kept alive by Fort Camp and Gregory. Diving dig of Stories in the back row. Far side, Scott to the back row, and it's home. 10th kill for Sarah Scott, and the Trojan lead is 5 after wonderful digs on the defensive end for TU. 5-point Taylor clearance, matching their biggest of set number 3. Story with an ace and an error tonight. Floats it over to the back corner and Gregory. Dulcing, near side, rainbowing it over is Frey. L. Springer, far side of the hot hand of Scott, who tools off the block and continues to cook. 11th kill for Sarah Scott, who's hitting over 220 tonight. It was a tough year a year ago for Sarah Scott, who had to miss it due to that left knee injury. But she has come back with fire and verve here in her redshirt sophomore season. Short serve from Story, stays on the Taylor side of the net. The 5th service error by the home team tonight. St. Francis back to within 5, down 9-4 as Flagel re-enters for TU. And Fort Camp still looking for that elusive first ace. She's done everything else tonight except get an ace tonight. Jen Springer denies her of that, receives it up towards the lights. Dunsmore, far side to Scott, who hit it into the net for her 6th attack error. Back-to-back points for the Cougars. They trail by 4, 9-5 in a must-win set 3. Fort Camp with the serve. Jen Springer up to L. Springer, far side, Aramia, and there's no stopping that. 5th kill for Aramia. She's been quiet tonight, but when she's got the ball sent her way, she has capitalized. 10-5 Trojans as Aramia hitting a clean 500. Quick set in the middle, Flagel off the left arm, Jen Springer races and then takes a chair out for good measure. That's okay, that chair not needed. We can go get a new one. And if that chair said anything mean about Mrs. Springer, that chair is wrong, because Mrs. Springer's a saint. We know that. So that chair probably had what it's coming to. 10-6 the USF deficit. Good receive from Holtz. Far side to Scott, little tip. Oh, look at that as Scott was coming to the middle, then played it back to the blank space on the front row far side. A crafty play there from Scott. Abby Powers on to serve, right back to Gregory again. That's where Taylor's been sending the majority of their serves here in the third. Flagel with an overpass. L. Springer stands there and turns Schaefer away. Near side Schaefer over the block, almost at the feet of Aaron Luthi, the Taylor head coach. 4th attack error for Addison Schaefer, and USF has missed her production tonight. 2nd on the team in kills coming in. Powers hangs. He'll go far side this time to Goldschmeding. Back to Schaefer for USF. Sliding dig is Powers. Lindsay Springer turns. Conway far side. She'll drop it in front of Sweeney. Back to the near side and Schaefer. Back far side, it's a Flagel dig. Let's work the left side again, and Conway tools off the block for TU. Fourth kill for the leader in that category in the league, Gracie Conway. And Taylor's lead is 7, 13-6. Powers serves and gets the ace. First for Powers, number 7 for Taylor. And set 3 starting to look a lot like set 2 as the Trojans are starting to blow this thing open. Leading by 8 and leading 2-0 in our match tonight. Goldschmeding forward, quick set in the middle off the attempt, and Ferris able to tool it off the block just in front off a soft touch. First kill for Ellie Ferris. 6-foot senior out of Delton, Michigan. Back on to serve, Kellen Birch. Freshman from Bluffton. Powers receives it back over, and tomahawking it down is Addison Schaefer. Easy work there on the overpass for Addison Schaefer. Birch again, a little skip and a smash. L. Springer, Aramia puts it right over the block with ease. 6th kill for Grace Aramia, and Taylor's lead back to 7. Just 1 block for Aramia, but she's added many more in the kills category. Had just 3 Saturday in the loss at MVNU. She's doubled that tonight with 6. Almost an overpass saved by Camp of USF. Pushing it out of bounds, though, in the middle were the Cougars. Taylor has doubled up St. Francis 16-8, looking to sweep our match tonight and snap their 3-match losing skid. And also pick up their first Crossroads League win of the season. Taylor didn't have 4 Crossroads League losses a year ago. They dropped their first 4 as L. Springer turns and pushes it over for a kill. The setter's first one of the night. Neither team has stopped play yet here in the 3rd frame as the libero Alexis Gregory exits and Kellen Birch comes in to spell her for St. Francis. As head coach Scott Haddock's trying to find some way to stop this Trojan onslaught here in the 3rd. Flagel and a missed rotation by USF by Kellen Birch, who came in the wrong spot as she subbed in for Alexis Gregory. And now USF head coach Scott Haddock's a graduate of Taylor Fort Wayne and also spent a decade coaching Taylor Fort Wayne back when it was in business before the consolidation. And so Gregory on the miss sub, and the Taylor lead is 10 at 18-8. Flagel back to serve again for TU. Back to Gregory, the libero, who returns. Fort Camp, near side, Schaefer, and a laser beam over the solo block attempt of L. Springer. There's the Schaefer that's USF folks have seen throughout the year. Joel Delsing, the starting setter, comes in to spell Gumbel and to serve. 9-point Taylor lead as they have dominated things since a back and forth set number 1. Delsing to the near side and Flagel for Taylor. Back set, pirouetting was L. Springer. Conway got it over, having to reach back for it. Near sideline, Fort Camp. Back row dig is Powers. L. Spring, far side. Conway blocked on the far side pin. It's Schaefer combining this time with McMullen. 4th block for McMullen, who leads the match in that category tonight. It's a long road to go here for St. Francis, needing to win set 3, but they trail it by 8 as we approach the late stages. Back set, here's Kleiman, right off the block again. Fort Camp and McMullen again. 4th block, Fort Camp, 5th one, McMullen. That was an issue that Taylor ran into as they committed over a set's worth of errors combined last Wednesday here against Spring Arbor. And just kept hitting it into the block more times than not against the Spring Arbor Cougars, not against the St. Francis Cougars. Not as much of an issue. Conway gets kill number 5. (19-11) is the Taylor lead. Lindsey Springer back to serve. Picking on Gregory again. Delsing near side, giving Fort Camp a go. Back row just out of the reach of Flagel. Nice placement on a heater from Fort Camp for her 9th kill. Fort Camp hitting .273 tonight for USF. 9 kills, 3 errors. Schaefer has 5 kills, 4 errors. No one else for the Cougars has more than 2. Powers on the serve receive. They set up Dunsmore far side, and she finishes it off. 7th kill, Dunsmore, and Taylor's lead grows to 8 at 20-12. And Dunsmore exits as Reagan Salzbrenner comes in for TU. Salzbrenner, the right side, sophomore out of Woodburn, Indiana. Jen Springer on the serve for TU. Dolsing, back set, off the block. Flagel able to save it off the attempt from McMullen. Near side, Salzbrenner, and she's blocked but out of bounds. And just like Salzbrenner's done in her last handful of home matches, her first swing results in a kill. 21-12, the Taylor lead, as they try to be the first ones to start feeling 22 tonight here in set 3. Springer to Gregory, trying to go track it down was Delsing. Fort Camp roll shot, trying to get getting her hands on it was Jay Springer, but she couldn't get the dig clean. Fort Camp, the first double-figure kill woman for USF. Down by 8, the Trojans 4 points away from a sweep. Gregory the libero to serve to her counterpart Flagel. Elspringer off the net. Left side Scott. Back row dig is the property of Sweeney. Near side Fort Camp for USF. Wonderful tip as Salzbrenner and Kleiman got up early. Back-to-back kills for Fort Camp gives her 11. And the USF deficit now 7, 21-14. Neither team has used a timeout, even though St. Francis has been down big for the majority of this third stanza. Back set, near side, Salzbrenner tees off and put it right home on the parquet. Second kill for Salzbrenner. The Trojan lead is 8 as they lead 22-14. A heavy arm for 2 and white. Story in to serve for TU. Aramia returns as well. Back set, far side. This is Fort Camp. Another tip, and she again continues to read that early block for the Trojans on either side of the floor. A dozen terminations for Fort Camp. She goes back to serve, again still looking for that elusive ace. 7 assists and 5 digs and 4 blocks for the junior from Fort Recovery, Ohio. Elspringer, they bluff Aramia, and Scott's block swing is blocked out of bounds. A baker's dozen for Scotty, and the Trojans 2 points away from a sweep. Salzbrenner out, and the senior Chelsea Hurt in for TU, replacing Aramia. As Holtz back to serve, the Trojans 2 points away from snapping their 3-match losing skid. Near sideline, and Gumbel finds that back far corner for her 4th kill. Making her 3rd kill, excuse me. Schaefer returns for St. Francis along with Goldschmeding. 2-0 the deficit in the match tonight. USF down by 7. Left side Scott with a tip of her own. Played back by the backup setter Madden. Near sideline Schaefer for St. Francis. Blocked but kept alive. Schaefer again rainbows a deep, cut off by Flagel. Far sideline, Taylor plays it to Scott. Block attempt kept alive by Flagel. They send it back again to Scott on the far side. She'll send it deep and out of play, looking for a front row touch. Back-to-back points after the Trojans had turned the match and this third frame in their favor. Holtz. The Springer sisters collide, still off to Scott, blocked and played skyward. Gregory underneath, Madden, quick set in the middle, and playing it into the net was Ferris. And that brings us to match point with Taylor ahead 24-17. It's Powers to send it over for Taylor. The Trojans have dropped 3 in a row. They're a point away from snapping that and picking up their first Crossroads League win. But Powers, a little too much excitement, sends it deep on the 6th service error for the home team tonight. Still set point at 24-18 for TU. Here's Kellen Birch, who can really rocket it over for those wearing blue. Received by Holtz off the arm. Flegel keeps it alive, still in the same vicinity, and two-armed over by Powers. USF in system, Madam up high, near side. Schaefer blocked down by Lindsey Springer and Chelsea Hurt. And the Trojans sweep St. Francis and end their 3-match losing streak thanks to a 25-18 third set victory. That's the 7th block of the night, and the Trojans end it in dominating fashion. We'll take a break, and when we come back, it's time for the Ivanhoe's post-match show. That's next on the Trojan Sports Network.
Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland. It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, Rob Sisson, and Adam Sieglin, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
If you get sick, you can trust that we will take care of you. As a Magnet-designated healthcare system, our expert team will create a personalized plan to get you back on your feet. Marion Health. Great care from great people.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greeks Pizzeria. It's our taste.
Welcome back to the Ivanhoe's post-match show. Rick Johnson joined by our player of the match, Sarah Scott. And Scotty, before we talk about volleyball, you can look into that camera. You can say hi to anybody and everybody you want. Go for it.
All right. Well, I would like to say hi to my siblings back at home. Haven't seen them in a while. And my little niece, Riley. I've been missing her, but hello, Riley.
It's been a long road for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, all freshman team pick for the league freshman year. Very excited. More opportunities coming to last year. You get hurt in the very first practice of the year, correct?
Second practice.
Okay, so second practice. But again, who's counting? You had to watch everything that was that rocket ship that was last year.
Mm-hmm.
What's it been like this year to come in and contribute and start to really find your form from a couple years ago?
Yeah, it's been super hard trying to get back into the swing of things. Just not quite jumping as high as I used to yet, and just trying to get used to having a newly put together leg. But I've just been so happy to be back out on the court playing the game I love with my besties. So it's just been super fun being back out there. I'm just really excited.
Emphasis on yet. She isn't jumping as high as she did yet. Yet being the key word again. Scotty, you had 13 kills tonight. Had more errors than you probably wanted in that first set. What switched for you and the team in sets 2 and 3?
I think that I was just seeing the block a little bit better, and my defenders behind me were doing a really good job of calling out shots in those second and third sets. So that helped me out, seeing the court a little bit better, seeing what was open, and that just helped balls land better. So, yeah.
Take me back to, I think it was the second or third set. It was the second set, because now I remember the side you were on. You're coming this, or sorry, the third set. You're coming this way, then you kind of turn your body like this, like the Statue of Liberty, and we play it back over. Is that something new you've been working on in practice? Is that a new drill we've been doing, or?
Actually, yeah. It actually is. We've been working on out-of-system play a lot, because that was definitely not my strong suit coming into this season. So actually, literally on Monday, we tossed balls that were wild, and we just had to figure out a way to get them back in. So, you know what? It was useful.
So that's how we get one of these, and it goes in. That's why you weren't shocked. You're like, oh, I did this yesterday. You're fine. What does it mean to play in front of an atmosphere like you guys had tonight? Obviously, the tournament's different. There's 2 courts going on. You can't pack as many people in here. But tonight, we started to get the feel of what it was a year ago, and the place was really getting going. You could tell even before. Normally people have their dinner and then they come over. People were like blowing off dinner and getting here at like 1:45, ready to go.
Yeah, it's just so fun having our fans. They're a great time. Sammy too, all dressed up. It's just so fun, and I just love the support we have from our student body. It's a great time.
Welcome back. It is fantastic to see you back out there again.
Thank you.
And good luck for this like 2-week-long road trip. You girls are going. We'll see you at the end of the month.
Thank you.
That's our player of the match, Sarah Scott. We'll take a break and we'll come back with more of the Ivanhoe's post-match show next. Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director's Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the athletic department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-4331 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
When you need the fuel to be your nephew's #1 fan, Holiday Inn Express. We're there, so you can be too.
Back on the Ivanhoe's post-match show, joined by the head coach, the defending Crossroads League Coach of the Year, Aaron Luthi. You know the drill by now. Say hi to your people.
Hey, say hi to my sister in Virginia. It's been a while since we've done this. Family in North Carolina, the Setzers and Ruth Ann. So, yeah, thanks for all your support from afar.
The Joneses are here, even though we play the ad, but we have to because they give the money.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's
for
fine.
sure, for sure.
Let's talk about your team's win tonight. We talked about it in pre-match that sometimes your team either starts slow and gets hot, or they start hot and get slow. It was a little slow, but then they turned it on, and you finished the sweep here and snap your 3-match losing skid.
Yeah, absolutely. So proud of these girls. They gritted out that first game, and part of it is the name of our game right now is what is it going to take to tangibly build our confidence? And whether that's a skill drill or continuing to work on mechanics or just giving different tips and tools of the trade. That's where the inexperience comes out, and I'm so stinking proud of these girls for, it's high emotion when you're in your own gym. It's like fun, but then it's like, oh, these people know me, versus if you're on the road, no one knows you, sort of thing. And so still working through some of that, and I think that's why we came out a little timid, a little slow in that first set, and then they found their groove, and we were doing a lot of things right. I'm so proud of them.
Mentioned up and down, a lot of attack errors in the first set. You then guys hit 231 and 308 in 2 and 3. What seemed to change after that first set?
I think the hitters got their feet under them. Our defenders and our serve receive, for the most part, has been super steady all year. And it's one of those things, we've been talking a lot about empowering and speaking into, and who's going to step up as a leader, and what does that mean? What does that look like? And the more that our defenders and passers are speaking in and saying, you've got, this is your shot, you see it, I see, I'm there. Hey, you hit into that block, I'm right behind you, and I'm covering you. And I think that's just so important, to have that camaraderie and that trust between teammates from a front row, back row basis. And everything I heard between those two entities was really positive and empowering today. And I think, once again, the hitters are still trying to figure some stuff out, and they came out and made a few too many errors to begin with, but then, man, when it clicked, and there was no looking back. So, yeah, excited about just how they're speaking into each other, how they're empowering each other, how they're building that trust, and good things will continue to happen.
We knew Grace Aramia last year from leading everything in the world in blocks. Had just one night, but tonight she comes through 6 kills, only 1 error, and you were kind of moving her around the floor a little bit. It's kind of nice. What kind of led to that, and what's it like to see her taking things from just being in the middle to now kind of going out to the outside a little bit? Yeah, I think the biggest thing, had a little bit of an epiphany over the last week of, we need to utilize and run some different routes and show some of these coaches from a scouting aspect some different things. We were becoming too predictable. You can't always only rely on your middles, and she's such a powerful hitter. Reagan Kleiman can jump up and over the block. Chelsea's very controlled with what she does, Reagan Sauls has a really nice shot from behind, and the more Jalen Dunsmore has been a middle her entire life, right? So if we can show some different things and create some crossing patterns, and just place some hitters in different areas, because they truly are versatile enough to do that, I think we can be more successful across the board, less predictable. Well, you look at Kleiman tonight, she comes out and gets 5 blocks, and it was just kind of money. I love how she has a very happy, her celebration is the best, because she's not clapping for herself, but she is clapping for herself. Yes, I love it. But you saw it a couple of times where she would jump, hang forever, which, a young lady that you used to have do that used to wear number 6, she did that a lot. And it was also very long, and then was violent with this. Weird how that works, how you find those types of players. But we're starting to see her, for sure. Well, yeah. But you look at her maturation, where you saw glimpses here and there early on, and now the last couple of weeks, she's starting to put it more consistently back to back to back to back. Yeah. And once again, confidence. For Reagan, it's the speed of the game. It's a little bit faster. Everyone's a little bit bigger, and
and she's still a little bit of eyes wide open, but my goodness gracious, she's so coachable. And she says, Coach, when you walk up to me and tell me something, I'm excited to learn something new. That's a dream, right? To be able to coach. So yeah, her ceiling is so stinking high. I can't wait to see it all unfold as she learns and grows and develops within this level of play. It's going to be really fun to watch.
To quote the great Michael Jordan, the ceiling is the roof.
Amen.
For Reagan Kleiman.
That's right.
Last thing, there was a couple rallies that got saved from Flegel, Powers, Story, Jen Springer. They were all over the floor tonight. Mack finished with 16 digs. Lindsay had 5 from her setting position. I mean, they really saved a lot of points there. Obviously, everybody sees the ending with either your pin hitters or the middles finishing it off, but you don't get to that point. On a couple of those, there were some diving attempts and some running after to even keep that thing up.
Yeah, and I think once again, there's a lot of, like, I have 5 liberos on my bench, or like on my team. So they've mostly all played left back. So they're still trying to figure out routes, crossing patterns, shading.
Foot position, like where do I need to be?
Correct.
Just being, not where do I go, just being to start.
Yes, and what I saw tonight and what I continue to see develop, I guess is what I would say, is they're starting to really buy into the game plan, and they're like trusting it. Not that they were trusting it like belligerently or anything like that, but it was just like they're seeing it, they're anticipating. It's not like emergency procedure. It's like, I know where she's going. I can see the read. I'm paying attention to the hitters. I'm communicating with my teammates beside me. Middle back is staying back and crossing behind. You know, there's so much. Defense is such an art form. If you just watch volleyball, you think, oh, cool. There's this like smoothness in this art form that I'm sure is in a lot of different sports, but it just takes a lot of trust and movement. And once again, here we talk about the ceiling. The ceiling is high. The ceiling is so stinking high with these girls. They're very fast. They're controlled. They're disciplined in their movements. And the more they figure it out and the more confidence they have, the more it's going to be a well-oiled machine.
And not only from a defensive standpoint, they were also weapons from the service line. Mack had 2 aces. Chloe Holtz had an ace. Story had an ace. Powers with 1. And Jen Springer also had 2.
Yeah. Thank you, Lord. Like, our serving has been kind of a thorn in our side. But once again, 98% of the serving game is mental. And that's been, you know, like when you're second-guessing yourself across the board, like that as the confidence unfolds, the serves will unfold. You know, all of those – you know, tangible or intangible moments and those skills, they'll continue to grow. Yeah, excited about that.
Okay, you guys are going on the road for like 3 weeks.
Yes.
Which is a bummer.
But then the last half of the season,
then we're just
rocking it at home.
We're camping at home for, you know, from like the middle of October on, which will be fantastic.
Yeah.
So you guys are going on the road for a bunch. I need to know the one thing you can't go on a road trip without, and your favorite road trip snack. Go.
Oh, okay, road trip, I do bring my pillow and my blankie. Not that I have a blankie for my kid, but just the softest, best one when we're on the bus.
You're not taking it from one of your children at home?
Nope.
That's good.
It's fluffy, and it's purple.
You're the mom
I
of the
have
year,
to accent with all things purple,
well,
right?
The pants and I have been fantastic.
Yes. Snack. Ooh, it's between Dots Pretzels and Skinny Pop.
Ooh.
Boom.
Any flavor on the Skinny Pop? Because I'm also a fan of the Skinny Pop, but just regular.
Yeah, regular.
I knew there's a reason that we got along.
You betcha. That's it.
Good luck. Don't forget the Skinny Pop and your blankie, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
You bet. Thanks.
That's head coach Aaron Luther. Back to Rapid. Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the athletic department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-4331 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage.
The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes. Oh, if you folks could see what goes on between the commercial breaks here. We got socks. It's a scene up here, man. It is a scene. Either way, the Trojans win tonight in 3, 25-22, 25-15, and 25-18. The Trojans are on the road for the next 2 weeks. They're at Huntington Friday and Iwu Saturday, so short road trips. And then longer ones a week. Next week, they will be at Goshen next Wednesday. They'll be at Marion on Friday before coming back here to take on number 15 Bethel in the second round of Crossroads League play, starting on Saturday afternoon against number 15 Bethel. The Trojans, and then will be, again, as Coach Luthi mentioned, they'll be home for pretty much the whole month of October. The month of November is reserved for the postseason with the Crossroads League tournament, and the Trojans hope a return to the national tournament. Player of the match tonight for Taylor was Sarah Scott. She had a match-high 13 kills and hit 194. She also had a dig and 2 blocks. The Trojans, with the win, improved to 10-7 on the year, now 1-4 in the Crossroads League. St. Francis falls to 5-10 overall, 1-4 in Crossroads League action. At worst, the Trojans will be in a tie with USF for 8th place in the Crossroads League after all of the matches shake out tonight. And again, we will talk to you coming up Saturday to finish out our week of our 5 broadcast week. Football kicks off against St. Francis of Illinois at 1 o'clock on Saturday before soccer, men's soccer, opens up Crossroads League play here Saturday night against St. Francis of Indiana. As we mentioned, our next volleyball broadcast is a week from this upcoming Saturday when the Trojans welcome number 15 Bethel here into town for a 3 o'clock first serve. Special thanks to our fantastic crew tonight. Joan McKim on the camera, and the producer-director tonight was Bryn Butchkowski. The executive producer of the Trojan Sports Network is Seth Michael. My name is Rick Johnston. Our final score tonight from inside Odell Arena was Taylor sweeping St. Francis in 3, 25-22, 25-15, and 25-18 to snap their 3-match losing streak tonight. This has been a presentation of Taylor Volleyball on the Trojan Sports Network. Until we talk to you again, we say goodnight from Upland, Indiana.
Proceeding has been a presentation of the Trojan Sports Network.